I've been looking for a good masseuse. So
She
absolutely, I'll
gets
take it.
deep.
Yeah, good.
I mean, she's a small woman, but she
They,
can really get
if
in
they
there.
know how to like work their hands and actually use their weight and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like it doesn't take much, bro. I mean, you can use an elbow, like
Yeah, she
stuff like
uses
that.
elbows,
Good.
but what she also does is moves different body parts and
Mm.
gets to the point where she can get like inside your shoulder
Oh,
blade,
okay.
right?
Dude.
So yeah, she's amazing.
So
But other than that, she's just the sweetest lady you ever meet.
cool. Right on, man.
So she was excited. She was really grateful for
Yeah.
a potential plug for advertising. But
Have you been going there for a while?
that's the only person I went to when I lived out here.
So it's been some time.
Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
anytime I come back, I'm
Right
getting on
on.
a calendar.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually a good. That leads to a good question. Like, let's talk about like recovery, right? And your focus around that. Massage obviously is very important in recovery, stretching, recovery, all that fun stuff. So like what does that look like to you? Are you on like a every month cadence? I know you're, not only active in the gym, but like you're, busy on the road, you're traveling, you're doing stuff. So how do you kind of incorporate that in your routine?
Well, what's funny is when you get to be my age, a lot of my peers now in work are much older than I am.
Okay.
And it's like we all get on calls and the conversation is, I got a doctor's appointment here, or recovering from this back injury, or everybody's talking about how broken they are.
Yep.
Right. And my body's broken from all the sports that I did for so long.
Right.
And, with the amount of travel, sitting in a desk, I'm constantly hunched over, never sleeping comfortably in beds when I'm on the road. So one of the first things I do before I leave for a trip is schedule an appointment with my massage therapist.
Okay.
So right when I get back, if I land before 5 p.m. or right around there, I go straight to her. So a lot of what I do now is more about pain management.
Yep.
And
good.
A lot of like quick muscle recovery. So I'm doing the contrast therapy 3 times a week.
Okay.
So contrast, it's hot and cold is the definition of it, but it's the infrared sauna and then cold plunge. So 10 minutes in the infrared, 3 minutes in the cold plunge, 2 rounds of that. And I really like to do that right after a workout. So what's great about the gym I go to is you have the area where you have all the gym weights and all the equipment, and then you have the physical therapist who I work with as well, and then the massage therapist, and then the contrast therapy. So it's all under one roof.
All at your gym.
Yeah,
dude. I wish they had that where I was at it.
Yeah, and now they got meal prep.
No way.
Yeah, well,
so you're probably paying a premium for the membership. It sounds like it's worth it.
Yeah,
it's all the essentials.
Well, I was mentioning my wife's meal prep.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
But it's an investment in yourself.
Yep.
And there's not a day that goes by where I'm not in pain. And it's just more about where are you at with the pain.
Right.
And I hover around a 6, but if I'm doing all of my training and all of the the contrast therapy with the physical therapy and the massage therapy, I can get that down to like a 2 or 3 on a 1 to 10 scale. So
where is this? Where when you say pain, like where is this? Is this just like everywhere, or well, obviously the most common is like lower back, knees, shoulders, like just from being hunched over. Like where is it mainly?
Well, I have 5 herniated discs and 1 bulging, and it goes all the way from my neck all the way to my lower lumbar.
From sports?
Probably wear and tear. I was playing 70 basketball games a year, or excuse me, a summer when I was a young kid.
Right.
From 13 to 17, AAU basketball. In 3 months we were playing 70 games.
Wow.
So I got to imagine that all the bouncing on the court for years and years was a catalyst for the injury to my back, lower back.
Yeah.
And then the neck. I don't know where that came from. It could have been from football. It could have been from not lifting weight correctly.
Yeah.
Not proper form technique. Those who know that I'm obsessed with golf will probably say, oh, it's because, you swing so violently. It's probably why your neck hurts. But, it's just wear and tear.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you don't think about the repercussions or the damage that you're doing to your body later in life. And now I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
So what I try to explain to people now is working out. It's not for going to the beach and looking good on the beach. That gives you confidence and self esteem. But working out, it should be very spiritual for you because you got to
Love that,
protect that
dude.
temple.
Love that. Yeah.
And
What a good way to put it.
you know,
It's true, man. It's true because you only get one body, right?
yeah,
Wow.
that's what they say. But
Huh?
there's some synthetics out there going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so if I could have talked to my younger self,
Hmm.
which I'm doing to my nephew now,
Right.
try to get him to understand the importance of stretching
Yep.
and not just going through the motions, but setting up a routine, fitting that full body stretch,
Yep.
not just before, but after the game as well.
Yep.
The importance of ice and heat
Yep.
after, either, a tournament or a game or whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to teach him how to learn, body recovery and putting together techniques and routines that he can use throughout his life.
Yep.
So he's a much more
It's
talented
huge.
athlete than I was. So I want him to make sure that, if he takes care of his body right, that's his paycheck.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, think about it, man. I mean, how many of these athletes nowadays do you hear about? Like your LeBrons, your Derrick Henrys, these guys that have been in the league and their profession for so long, but they invest like $1 million or close to into their body outside of their sport.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more, man. Like the recovery piece is just, I mean, to your point, like I know in my earlier days, like you don't feel it necessarily, but you do, but it doesn't like prolong because then you can bounce back when you're
Mm-hmm.
younger. But I swear, man, when you get to like, I don't even know what the age was, but like, 30s, it's just like stuff just starts to hurt more and more and more. And I mean, that's why I'm a firm believer, man. Like when I wake up in the morning, like the first thing I do is like a dynamic warm up. Like I'm doing crunches, I'm doing leg lifts, I'm doing just air squats, I'm doing just anything, just get the blood going and then go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the night, I always try to end on the floor, and then I foam roll or I'll stretch or I'll just use like a racquetball and just have
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I was listening to a podcast. I think it was. Oh man, I don't. He was on Huberman, and I think it was maybe it was Andy Galpin. But he said like if there's one takeaway, like the best way to farm roll is using one of those balls, and just that's it. Because if you just roll that, and then when you really feel the pain in a certain spot, just spend time on that and just roll there. So
Well, my massage therapist said today that she's got a love hate relationship with her foam roller,
I'm
and
sure. Yeah.
I have more of a love relationship with
Yeah.
my
Oh, it's not always
sponge.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I got the sponge foam roller, I got the one that's kind of a mix between, and then I got the plastic one.
Yeah.
So the plastic one is when you start doing those quads and the
Yep.
upper thigh, it is immensely painful, but it's like a balloon. You have a full balloon, and then
Yep.
you're just squeezing all that air out. You're just squeezing all of those toxins out. And myofascial release is something that I'm very, I would say, empowered by, encouraged by. It's something that I really believe in because if you do like a 45-minute myofascial release from head to toe,
Hmm.
you're burning as many calories as you would if you were to walk on a treadmill for an hour.
Yeah. Is that
So,
right?
so the good
I
thing
like that.
is,
I did not know that.
yeah, it puts your body in a metabolic state where you're now in that fat burning stage.
Okay.
Right. So if you do a 45-minute foam roll and do like a 25-minute weightlifting session, you're going to get far more results than if you were to just do like a mile walking on the treadmill and then 35, 40 minutes of strength training. So
Yep.
if you can start implementing the foam roller, before or after your workouts or both, you're going to see less pain
Yep.
and a speedier recovery.
Yep.
So all these things, you don't learn about that in high school. Or you don't learn about that when you're training with your buddies.
No, because it turns into like early days. It's like an ego fest, right?
Yeah,
It's just like let's just push weight around, and then you realize like, man, it's not. That's not how it's supposed to be done.
yeah.
That's not. Well, let me ask you this. So, um, you're in your 40s. Okay.
44
44.
and a half.
Okay. You don't look 44.
Thank
Do you
you.
feel 44? Some
Some
days.
days I do, some days I don't.
What's kind of been like throughout the years, man? Obviously, you're very active. Like you're a big golfer. You know, you golf. I mean, probably more than any of my friends and stuff like that, and still manage to have a personal life, a family life, hobbies outside of that, and then also you're really focused on career and then your outside investment stuff like that. So how do you juggle all of it, man? How do you stay disciplined in the gym? How do you stay disciplined and intentional like every single day? Because I know you're busy, bro.
Oh yeah.
I know you're busy. Every time I talk to you, I mean, you're go go go, but like you also do a really good job of being present. Like when we're around each other, you're pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So what's like your mindset around that?
Well, at home it's a lot easier when I'm not on the road. You know,
Yeah.
I can stick to a routine.
Okay.
So I have I'm at the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Okay.
And but I don't need a trainer. You know, I've been
Right.
lifting weights and I've been in gyms for 25 years. But I need the trainer. You know, now as I've gotten older, I need it for more of an accountability partner.
Yep.
And I think everybody can relate to the fact when you go to a big box gym like a Crunch or Anytime Fitness or whatever, you can go in with a plan. You got your routine that you want to hit,
Yeah.
but Mondays everybody's on the bench. You can't find a bench. So what really is unique about the setup I have at this gym now is I don't have to think about a workout. I get there, I go.
Yep.
And it's 30 minutes of hell. So, knowing that I also, if I have to miss an appointment, I got to pay for it. There's a cancellation fee and it's a full payment of what it would cost if I was actually there.
So
So,
is it like a group hit class you do?
well,
Is that what you're saying?
I do one-on-one hit, and
Okay.
my wife actually joins me a couple times a week as well.
Oh,
So,
love that. Cool.
and what was cool is, she was a big time CrossFitter back in the day.
Yep.
Her first CrossFit competition she ever entered, she took fifth place.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, she's not human.
Yeah.
But as you get older and you're married, life changes a bit, and you want to make sure that you can do things with your companion. So what got us into this gym was the contrast therapy because we really started to like that, the ice plunge stuff and the infrared sauna and things like
Dude,
that.
plug your gym.
Yeah.
What's the name of your gym?
Well, it's in Tampa, so
So
I don't know.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
serious. It's serious gym over in Tampa.
Sweet.
Corey is the owner and trainer out there.
Sweet.
But and he's a hell of a guy.
Cool.
He's the reason why I want to go a lot of times because I'll be in meetings from 8 to 6, and I have to run to the gym, and I have to vent. I want to get things off my chest and just want to talk to somebody who's not my dog.
Yep.
And he makes it.
I'm your dog.
What else? My dog. But so Corey, because of his personality, I don't want to disappoint him. I want to work hard because I know his reputation as a CrossFitter. He's also done Ironmans, so
Cool.
I don't think he's human either. But so having that accountability factor, having the workouts already, provided for me, so I just go,
Cool.
right? And what's funny about it is I've been doing this for, with Corey for 5 months or so, and I feel like every time I leave there, I'm dead, just exhausted. And I told Corey the other day, I said, am I making any progress here? Because every time I leave it, why was that so hard? Am I not improving? And he's like, no, no, I'm increasing your workload. I'm just not telling you. So, yeah, he's doing that messaging. Yeah,
Don't you love that, bro?
Yeah.
The placebo effect, or I wouldn't say that. That's probably not more of the placebo effect, but it's just like you've heard it, like people that get blindfolded and they're told that they're doing weights and stuff like that, and they're lifting way heavier than they realize.
Right.
It's dude, your mindset can change big time.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I'm not influenced by results.
Mm.
I rarely get on a scale.
Okay.
I rarely look in the mirror. And the only way I know if I'm making any improvements is by the way my clothes are fitting. So it's a good thing that the clothes are getting baggier. but it's a bad thing because all my work clothes I have to keep on having. So not necessarily a bad thing, but
Yeah.
it's about what's the bigger goal? What's the big picture? What do I want out of health and wellness? And reality is, longevity. You know, they say health is wealth and family is first. But if my health isn't good, how am I going to be good to anybody else? So I want to be able to hit the ball 300 yards when I'm 70 years old. And, I want to be able to continue to, play sports with my niece and my nephews. So um, I want to be able to lead by example. And, that's another reason why I really want to show them
Yep.
this is how you take care of yourself. You don't want to be old and broken like I am because it's a small fortune, to maintain everything once you start, you got a bad knee, it's a bad back, it's all connected. One thing starts going bad, you start overcompensating that. Next thing you know, no, another injury happens. So, the injuries, that's the hard thing when you get older is, you know, uh, you gotta step away. You can't push through, you can't rub dirt on it and say, I'm gonna tough it out. You have to take that mental step back and say, let
Yeah.
my body recover and injuries will happen and staying positive about it because there's plenty of things you can do if you have a pulled hamstring or you have a
More
calf
effort.
pulled.
Do upper body. And
Yeah.
do others for sure.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
can find some kind of cardio you could do, or you could do body weight, you could do push-ups, you can do pull-ups. A lot of the body weight stuff you can do with all kinds of injuries without making the injuries worse.
Yeah.
So it's about being consistent. So, when I get on the road, just today I went to iCryo
Hmm.
and I wanted to try out that cryotherapy,
Hmm.
mostly because it was free for the first try.
Nice.
And, I wanted to know, have a real perspective on, what's the difference between the ice plunge and the cryo. And, with the ice plunge, it is so mentally challenging to say, I'm going to go ahead and sit in that ice cold water for 3 minutes. It hurts,
Oh yeah.
with that first 30, 45 seconds, it knocks the wind out of you.
Hmm.
And you're just trying to, you know, remain in the water and stick it through. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. So if I go once a week, that next week I know how hard it's going to be to get in that pool. But if I'm in there, 3 days in a week, that next week it's so easy to jump back in.
Yeah.
So you condition your body by creating those habits, and I love that cold plunge. That cold plunge. Normally when I get home from the gym, I have to lay on my beanbag and put a few ice packs on, and that's how I treat my back. But if I'm able to do the ice plunge, I get home, I sleep well.
That's good, dude.
Yeah,
That's good.
and that's the other big thing.
Yeah.
With the amount of travel that I do, I'll find, like I said today, I found the iCrowd, or I'll find a gym and get a day pass or pay, whatever the charge is. Um, most of the hotels I stay at, the gyms are functional. They're not great,
Yeah.
but based on the style of exercises that Corey has taught me, if they have one cardio machine and they have free weights, I can do something similar that he taught me. So I'll do, 24-minute exercise and, mix it up with like, 3 8-minute EMOMs, and I'll be dead. I'll really have a great workout. And the good thing about that, I accomplish something in the morning. I go to my meetings and I have a
Yep.
really good mindset going into it. So it's really easy, to make the excuse. Well, I'm traveling,
Yeah.
and if you let the travel be an excuse, you can let anything else be an excuse when you come back. So, the more days that I can put into the gym means the less pain I'm going to be in throughout the week.
Yeah.
So I hate to say it, but it's more like operating out of fear of, you know, if I don't go, what kind of pain am I going to be in?
Right.
Right.
Right. No, and I couldn't agree more, man. I've been traveling more for work as well, and it's like every time I'm like, okay, how can I like make time to work out? How can I make sure that I'm not going to skip my fitness and stuff like that while I'm because it is hard, man. I mean, traveling with jet lag, it's new surroundings, sleep, new. I mean, it is tough. Um, but like to your point, man, like if you really just try to stay disciplined and you can get a lot done in 20, 30 minutes. You
Mhm.
really can. And what a difference does that make for the rest of the day that how you're feeling? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's like you can also it's like okay I traveled but I also like at least I got in 20, 30 minutes. That's a win, bro.
Yeah.
If you travel if you boarded a plane and then you're in a new spot and you actually got 20, 30 minutes of exercise, like that is a win. I don't care
Mhm.
what you did. If you go for a walk even, that's a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do some kind of activity. Would you say that's like a because I mean, people who don't know, you're up there in the org chart. You're a high level executive. You've been at your in your role for a long time now, so you got big boy responsibilities, right? What would you say? Like, have you noticed an impact on your everyday stress when there's days that you've maybe been lacking in your fitness and you maybe
Oh yeah.
put you know what I mean? So maybe things pile up, like stuff happens, right? But have you noticed a difference on days that you like maybe take some time for yourself and still work out and then get back to work and then days that you miss? Like have you noticed a difference in those kind of months, weeks, whatever it may be?
Yeah. Uh, you could probably get that question answered by my wife.
Yeah, yeah.
she, she knows how irritable I get. So,
Hmm.
it's it's not manual labor that I'm doing, but it's a real mental gymnastics and being in meetings and meetings, and we solve very complex big business problems through the use of technology. So
Right.
um, there's a lot of personalities, there's a lot of systems in place, and if you take your eye off the ball, somebody's going to pick it up. So in order to stay completely focused, I have to make sure that I'm in the right mindset going into the workday. And there are those days where, what, let me just go ahead and get some sunshine, get that vitamin D. I'll lay out on my deck for a little while, or I'll go for a walk in the neighborhood, depending on how hot it is or how humid it is in Florida. Um, Sometimes you go on those walks and it's hot and humid. It takes the energy out of you.
Right.
So, you really got to figure out what kind of weather is out there, and if it's bad weather, let me just lay out on the deck for a little bit. But that sunshine, it goes back to that Huberman Lab,
Yep.
the morning routine.
Yep.
Um, main thing I do every morning, I'm not popping coffee. I have minerals that I pour in my water.
Oh, same. Yep.
Yes, so I'll refill the minerals. And
People don't know, like salt. Put salt in your water.
yeah,
Like drink salt. It's good for you.
yeah,
If you're tired, drink salt and drink creatine. If you're
yeah.
tired, you know that, right?
Oh
Too
yeah,
on creatine.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. The positive effects with creatine. Like everyone used to think, I mean, including myself, that it's just pure just for muscle gains and stuff like that, and it helps with water weight. No, it's like there's a lot of good benefits of creatine.
Mhm.
Postpartum, even
Yeah,
stuff like that. So I'm glad you're drinking this, dude. You're
yeah.
killing it, man.
Well,
You're
the,
killing
the
it in
thing that I
life.
don't like though about the minerals is, who knew that salt would be so expensive to add to your water just to get a little flavor?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not going to plug what we use, but man, it's for a dozen of those bad boys. It's a cost of a couple of 12 packs of beer.
yeah.
you know,
But you
like,
don't drink it,
which I don't.
but
No,
it's been how long now?
4 years, but
Okay.
with a caveat.
I know the
All right,
caveat.
all right, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So,
Let's talk about that.
well, I quit 4 years ago after our member guest tournament, the one where we came in third place,
Yep.
and I was sick as a dog. And my partner likes to take the pitch. He took a picture of where the golf ball was, and it was right on the rough fairway. It was, a weird lie, and I hit it a hair fat, hit the rocks near the green, went out of bounds. That's how we lost. So my buddy likes to send me that picture every year as a remembrance for how I
This is
screwed up.
our mutual friend?
You probably remember Casey, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I know
yeah,
Casey. Yep. I
yep.
thought you were talking about Richie for some reason, but no, that
No,
makes sense.
no,
Yep.
Richie's not that. not that much of a jerk. But I don't know what hit me. I mean, I was pretty sick because I did it to myself. That whole member guest week, we were drinking heavily.
Yeah.
And then the last day I killed my immune system. So I decided, you know what? I'm 40 now. Uh, that's not, it's not healthy for me to be drinking like that. And it's not like I was drinking excessively, but on the golf course, I was having 5 beers, 2 shots,
Which you're golfing a lot.
and I was golfing a lot.
Yeah.
But the other thing about that is it adds up. I was spending like $500 a month just on alcohol at the country club because I was golfing a lot and I was drinking a lot. So I shut it down and completely, erased that from my life. And unfortunately or fortunately, I put drink back in my body about 2 months ago when I got my first hole in one. Thank you. It'll probably never happen again, but at least I have one and Richie doesn't.
Yeah, dude. I know that ate him up. I mean, the fact that you and Colton have gotten a hole in one, and the fact that
Colton did. Wow.
Dude, Colton got. I mean, he said I don't know why he would lie about it.
Let me guess. Did he hit a putter off of a hole that was 100 yards long and he just rolled it out Texas wedge style?
No, I don't. I think. I mean, we'll have to talk to him about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because we're all golfing for our fantasy football draft tomorrow, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No, dude, in Arizona, he got really into golf, and I truthfully, I believe it because I don't think Colton's one of those guys that would lie about it. First off, and he's not. He's like surprisingly like pretty athletic.
Yeah.
And he's got it. I think he grew up playing baseball. He's got a good swing, and he started to get really into golf. And then, he just sent us like a photo, and he was playing with some random guy. I mean, and it just got it, bro. Yeah. It just got it. So he just went and drank with the guy. I mean, let's be real, bro. That's a once in a. I mean, people play their whole life, like our boy Richie.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been playing his whole life, and he has yet to get one. I think it's a matter of time. I mean, he's so freaking good.
If it's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually.
Eventually, yes. But I hope I get one before he does because it'll fucking piss him off. Or I just hope I get one in general.
It'd be great if you and Alex got one on the same day.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I gotta get one before Alex. Bro. We can't have Alex talking shit about getting the hole in one because we'll never hear the end of it, dude.
Never.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better than the one that you got.
Yeah. And it will be, Delvecchio Pond, dude.
Yeah. That's going to be the whole, right? But, I mean, I think it's also important to note that, removing the alcohol from my body was one thing, but it happened during the same time that I was really moving towards my faith. And, I've been given this body. It was something that I've been blessed with. And who am I to, put a lot of bad things in there? So the more that I learned about my faith, the more I wanted to do that was positive for my body. So, I want to protect this temple. And if I'm supposed to, hurt myself from time to time, there's going to be a lesson to be learned there. But I'm not going to do it by putting alcohol or anything else negative in there.
Good. Love that. That's a really mature, like thoughtful way of doing it. And I think you kind of have that aha moment. And I mean, dude, I was guilty of. I had to catch myself with the alcohol. I've always been known to be like the party guy and like to have fun and a good time. I mean, a little bit, but it's like a little bit, but it was never like too excessive. But like with my background and my parents being alcoholics and stuff like that, like I had to really take a step back and realize like when I was drinking at home by myself, I'm like, okay, now we got chill, bro.
Right.
And it's affecting everything else.
Everybody was drinking at home by themselves during COVID.
Right? I mean, yeah, COVID, dude. The first 2 weeks of COVID was like fun as hell.
Oh yeah,
like pop some White Claws, play some video games with your boys, playing poker.
Yeah,
online.
I mean, all that's cool, but the White Claws,
Yeah, yeah, dude. Hey, dude. I used to hate on the White Claws for so long, or seltzers in general. Yeah. And then you like actually have them, and then you don't feel like shit, and you're like, all right, these are easy. Yeah. It's like, all right.
Well, that's another thing that's important that you just hit on. When you're drinking, your workouts are going to be terrible the next day, and you drink too much,
Yep.
You're not leaving your couch, your bed. You're, filling your belly with fast food, and
Yep.
now you're looking at all these other calories that you have to burn off, and it just makes life a lot more difficult when you're putting those kinds of things in your body when you have different goals. So it's just when you weigh the pros and cons, it was an easy decision for me to say I'm done.
Good. Yeah.
Period. Done.
Yeah. Yeah. I think eventually I might. I don't know. I've always like, because like nowadays, like I am like very. I've cut back so much. Like I probably drink once, twice a month,
Good.
and then it's I drink more of like occasions, right? So like I'll have a couple of beverages tomorrow for sure. Because I kind of also like to think of like I like to have a good time, and I think if in moderation, I think if you do it correctly, I think it can be okay. Um, but you also got to like what you said. I'm planning ahead and knowing like, okay, if I do have some beverages tomorrow, well, I am not going to feel the best on the next day and even the following day. I mean, hangovers are a real thing. When you hit your 30s, and your fitness will will suffer
Yeah.
because of it. But I'm with you, man. I love that you're doing that. I am curious what has been the difference, because a lot of golfers, including myself in the past, have to drink
Get that
to
confidence juice
play.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
swing juice, and
Yeah.
that's like a mindset, because it's a stressful game. It's very hard, especially when you're playing with people you want to play good with. Like you've been looking forward to it all week. You really want to play well. So what has it done now that you don't drink? What has it done to your game? Have you noticed your game has gotten a lot
Yeah.
better? Are you sharper on the course? Like, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Funny thing is, you know, when I lived out here, that's when I made the big changes in my life. With the alcohol, with my faith,
Yeah.
and going back home. I lived in Tampa again. I came back a different person, and you know, my friends were like, "Why are you not drinking? What is this God thing about?" And uh, I continue to make statements like, I gave up drinking and I'm no fun anymore. And um, the reality is, my game is completely the same. You
Okay.
know, there are going to be good holes, good days, bad days, and it's more about understanding how to hit that reset button.
Hmm.
Things don't feel right with your swing, get back to the tempo. Think
Hmm.
about one thing and one thing only. Clear that checklist off your mind. We're not pilots out there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm exactly the same person,
Hmm.
as far as personality is concerned. And when I
Are
get
you
out there
still
in the
throwing
golf
clubs
course,
if you hit a bad shot?
yeah, it's not necessarily a throw anymore, but it's so weird because Florida is so humid, right?
Yeah,
It's like the clubs get slippy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I have seen one of these before.
well, there's no more tomahawk throws if that's
Okay,
what you're
good,
saying. Yeah.
good,
If
good.
I do throw a club now, and I drop it, but I have a rule though. Every time I drop the club in that fashion, I have to do 25 push-ups.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. Hold me to that tomorrow.
All right. Well, you're not gonna.
I'm
It's
not
gonna be
gonna.
too much fun,
That's right.
dude. I remember when we played Breckenridge for Richie's bachelor party, and I hit a bad shot, and I grabbed my club and hit it on my golf bag, broke my 7 iron.
Was it the 7 I gave you?
No, no, no.
Okay.
This was years ago.
All
No,
right.
no, no. Those clubs are gone. Um, but I like, I don't know if it was Richie. I think it was Richie, man. Like I think he was like, hey man, like you shouldn't get that upset
Yeah.
about. I mean, we're out here to have fun. It's like you're not a, like you're an amateur golfer, like especially at that time. There's no reason to get upset.
Yeah. You're not setting
Um,
any course records.
and I was like, God, man. I was like, you're right. I was like, because I mean, whoever was around me and whoever like who wants to play with someone that's just
Yeah.
like getting mad after that and stuff like that. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, you're right. And
Uh,
so, especially in golf, you're gonna hit bad shots.
oh, you got to expect it.
You gotta expect it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Scotty this week, watching him like just slice it and then end up in like dog shit, and then just be like, okay, I'm just gonna hit it right back out in the fairway 20 yards, and then you think like for normal guys, you're gonna end up with a bogey, double bogey. He puts it where it needs to be. He's got 140 yards in, puts it between like 5, 6 feet, still saves par. I mean,
Right.
dude.
And what would have happened? How stupid would he have looked if he threw his club after the shot that put him in danger to begin with?
Right.
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 So
There's something to be said about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I watched him either last week or the week before that. And he was getting frustrated. Like,
yeah.
I've never seen him all year show that kind of emotion because he was a hothead early on in his career. And his caddy that came over, like his new caddy, since like the last 3 years, was like, that was like their first talk, was like, hey man, you've been a hothead.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna caddy for you, no more hothead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a difference, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying you're a hothead.
Oh, not since I lost something.
Yeah. By the way, I got it. Like, I heard Donnie might have beat you today with handicap.
Yeah.
Handicap.
Well,
okay,
yeah.
Donnie, what's up? I got your bag, baby.
Hey, I'll tell you what. With handicap or without handicap, I want my boys to play their best round.
Dude, he's been playing really good.
So
he's playing better.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't realize that lightning could strike twice in the same spot multiple times. Throughout the round, I was just like, "Whoa, dude, who are you?"
Dude.
So
what's funny about Donnie, bro, is like he walks up and just like he surprises the shit out of you because he'll hit one shot, but then he'll like pipe one and just like,
yeah,
dude.
It was all about the vibes. We had good vibes.
That's what I'm talking about. Donnie is by far one of my favorite people to golf with, just because it's always a good time.
Oh yeah,
always a good time.
I played terrible, but it just had blast, right?
That's gonna be tomorrow, dude. Don't get me wrong. We're playing a nice course, so like I would like to score well, but like I also like had to take a step back and realize that stop trying to go out and don't think about scoring. Just fucking go out, have a good time, and just play. Like, and be athletic over the ball. Just be athletic. Try to hit a good shot one at a time.
Yeah,
the score works itself out.
Well, be present, right? And I think it's a good segue back to fitness, right? It's I told you before, my workouts with Corey are hard, right? But I'm not focused on the result. I'm not focused on the outcome. I'm focused on being there, working as hard as I possibly can. And, if I get more definition or vascularity, great. If I don't, I'm still taking care of that beat, man. Yep. My heart is still, I think my heart health is evaluated lower than my actual age. Okay, so, good. I don't know how trustworthy that application I have with my scale is, but I get on there occasionally. I check it out. Yeah, so good. But yeah, it's staying present in the workout and appreciating the fact that you can do this, right? And as hard as it is, that's all growth, right? That's all your mind over matter. It's being able to do things that you think that you couldn't do. It's about pushing through obstacles and barriers. And that makes you well positioned in life to approach those challenges in the same methodical way, life or work or whatever the case may be.
Do you, it's a really good lead in is something I wanted to ask you about because something that I've been journaling, I journal a lot. I'm a big fan of journaling. And something I, saw the other day was that, I think it was Denzel Washington that said like, hey, first thing you wake up, don't look at your phone. Don't do this. Don't do that. He's like, just sit there. Just think like, just be grateful. Enjoy having the ability to wake up. And I think there's just so much to be said about that, dude, because it's like how often with the stimulation that we have nowadays, with the crazy schedules that we all have and how busy all our lives is, that we just get up and think we just got to be like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. But if you take a moment and just do appreciate, like you said, man, being intentional, being present. And I personally like, I write down, I write down every time I wake up. So I'd be like, okay, I woke up at 6 a.m. or 6:15 or whatever. And I write what I'm grateful for. And I try to set the tone, for the whole day. Cause, who knows, bro? I could lose my legs and like You never know.
Right.
You never know.
But you won't.
I hope not, dude.
Yeah,
I
you won't.
love my legs. I love all the
I
stuff that I
promise.
do.
You can't get rid of that silly tattoo anytime.
Oh, dude, the tents. Yeah, one day maybe.
Well, that's part of my morning routine.
Good.
You know, when I take a shower,
Okay.
I almost think of it as a baptism. So
Cool.
I'm washing away from the sins of yesterday and starting my day with a prayer of gratitude. Right, all the things I'm very very blessed with. You know, my wife, my house, my family, my job, my friends.
Good, dude.
You know, my double life out here in Colorado.
And I'm sorry, did you say you write it down, or do you
No,
just
it's
kind of
just my prayer in the morning.
Awesome.
You know, there's times where if I had any kind of epiphany or something very very profound happen throughout the workday, that's the stuff that I'll write down. I mentioned to you, I had a incredible leader, and he just passed a couple weeks ago. Uh, Bill Cage was the most incredible man, and you know, I'm kicking myself a little bit because one of the things I was working on was I wanted to create a top 10 list of the Billisms and all of the things that I wrote down that I learned from him along the way. I wanted him to frame it and recognize the little things that he just says so naturally that have been transformational for me.
That's awesome.
You know, one of my favorite quotes that he has, you can apply this to sports, is you can do everything right and lose, or you can do everything wrong and win. But when you put your value in outcome, you'll never be satisfied. So it really, we do a lot of competitive RFPs, and most of our business we're in competition with another vendor.
Right.
And there has been those times where I did everything right. And I would beat myself up.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't learn much from beating yourself up. You learn by picking yourself up and moving forward. What are some of the elements of that deal cycle that I can build into a successful framework before it becomes, a repeatable process, right? And Bill used to say, now Eric, I know you're going to grieve on this one a little bit. Take the rest of the day, do what you got to do, and put it behind you. Because tomorrow's another day.
Damn. Yeah.
So,
and that's, I mean, you can apply that to
everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's huge, man. That's huge. So, is there? And I'm sorry about that. I know I've already told you that.
I appreciate
I'm bummed about that, especially just kind of the way it happens. It sucks, dude.
Well, like I said before, when I get to the gym, it sounds silly, but I want to make Corey proud.
Yeah.
Doesn't
sound silly.
And work, I wanted to make Bill proud. And the workout stuff is, I want my niece and my nephew to see their uncle working hard here, and I want them to be proud. Right. I want to set the example for them. And I think it's working so far.
Absolutely, man. No, it is. And even if you don't, I mean, you're doing it for the right reasons, and it people notice, bro.
Well, I think that at any time anybody sets a goal for themselves, you have to go back to the not sure if you've heard of Simon Sinek. He does TED Talks. He's a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
And he had this segment about start with why. Right. So what's your why?
Yep.
So anybody going into a new, fitness outlook, routine, plan, whatever it is, you have to understand your why. Why am I doing this? And there's times when I get done with the work, I'm like, why am I putting myself through this? And then I remember, I want to live long, right? Mm-hmm. I want to be able to, I want to be distinctive. When I'm working these trade show booths, if somebody sees somebody working a booth who's fit, that's an area of conversation, right? 100%. And if it's something that's working for me, I mean, you know me, I'm going to tell you. You may ask me a question like, "How you doing?" I'm going to give you a damn long answer that you weren't looking for. So if somebody comes up to me and asks me, what do I do to stay in shape? I'm going to tell you all of it.
Yeah.
And
it's fun to talk about. That's why we started this.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's
a contagious feeling, isn't it?
It's a contagious feeling, but it's it's a greater calling, right? God's put me in that position at that booth, and somebody who's struggling with, maybe their diet or implementing routine or just getting started or getting back into it or, working through an injury.
Right.
I all those challenges myself, and, I'm not the standard bearer here, but I am a model of consistency, and it's because I have my North Star. I have my why that keeps me kicking. And, being that I was so undersized growing up and, underestimated, that was something that I could control with my body. I was 125 pounds when I graduated high school. So I'm like, 172 now. But, it's, I like to stay around that, no more than 13% body fat. Getting anything less than that, you're really having to do a very strict diet. And luckily for me, my wife is a personal chef.
Right.
And when we started dating, she'd look at my refrigerator and she's like, "What is this, a frat house?"
Yeah.
I got pizza boxes. I got, way back there, I got some chicken wings. I've been there for about a month.
Yeah.
Still good. They're still good. Right. Got some nachos that I got from 7-Eleven that are still in there. Just all the best. So beer and whatnot. And, my father would come over to watch football games from time to time, and he'd go in the fridge and grab whatever that he figured that he liked. And when my wife moved in, he went in the fridge. He's like, what is all this rabbit food? What are you vegetables? You start eating this crap. Yeah. And now I can't wait to eat asparagus or broccoli or beets. Those are the two things. If I could have beets and asparagus in every meal, I wouldn't need my espresso. I wouldn't need, any ulterior, alternate source of energy, right?
Where do you get your protein mostly?
Well, mostly the diet,
Yeah.
I do.
But I mean, are you do you eat a lot of chicken, fish, steak? What's kind of like?
Yeah, I'm not really into fish, so I don't do fish. And
same.
My wife doesn't. She doesn't like to cook pork. Her mom told her when she was young. She said, um, my wife asked her mother, well, "Why don't we have bacon?" She said, "Look at those things. You see those pigs? You want to put a pig in your body, right?" So, so she's always been a real clean eater, and not traditional. There's no chicharron in our house ever, right?
Right.
And so she cooks me. She does a lot on the crock pot, and so it's it's one of my favorites because
I'm gonna have to get some recipes for me because I eat kind of the same stuff all the time, but it gets old.
Yeah.
I like to mix it up, and the crock pot is just such a game changer because it's like, boom, set it and forget it.
Yeah. Well, like the shredded beef, I can eat it with rice. I can eat it, rice and vegetables. So I have a pretty consistent style of nutrition on a daily basis. There's a vegetable, there's a carb, and there's protein. And it's not like I'm counting all my macros or anything like that. So that my wife. But I try to stick to some kind of formula. Half of my body weight in protein on a daily basis. With water, I try to have at least 170 ounces of water a day to hit my body weight. But my wife is, she's cooking lunch and dinner for me just about every day. On the weekends, we live,
Yeah, you should.
We will order a pizza. Yep. And that'll make the workout a lot harder the next day, but still. Yeah. You gotta have to comfort.
80% of the time,
your cheap food.
80% of the time, eat clean. You're fine. The rest.
Well, I do 70%.
He is 7. Like I feel like if most people ate clean 70% of the time, it would just make a huge difference, especially how processed and crap
Yeah.
American food is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the luxury I have at home with her. Well, it's a blessing and a curse,
Right.
because she believes in getting good quality food, and
She wants you to be around too.
well, I don't know why. That's what she tells me.
Yeah.
I want you to eat well because I want you to be around for a while.
Totally.
You liar. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll do a lot of chicken breasts, shredded chicken from the crock pot. She makes the most amazing tacos. I mean, you hear tacos, you're like, that's not like a gourmet Michelin style kind of meal, boy. The way she does it, forget about it.
Even though she's Colombian. Yeah. Forget about it.
Yeah. Forget. So, I love Italian food. And she gets these healthy noodles. I don't know what.
There's a way to do it. Love it. Yeah. Dude, I remember when I was over, she had those gluten-free chips that were amazing. And my wife's celiac, so it was like, okay, we got to get these in the house.
And that's the thing that a lot of people neglect.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I don't have the know-how. It's too much effort. There's always some kind of excuse to satisfy your hunger with fast food, right? And everything that's in fast food is all processed stuff. You eat.
It's so
don't get
good,
me wrong.
It's so good sometimes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'll say it anyway. There have been times when I have had a Chick-fil-A meal, and I hid the evidence. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you hid eating Chick-fil-A from your wife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you found something in Chick-fil-A. I was like, Brad, don't ruin Chick-fil-A.
Oh no,
never. They know what's best.
No, I mean it's to the point where I'll bring Chick-fil-A to my sister because she lives like a mile away from me, and my niece and my nephew bring them Chick-fil-A. I'm not being nice. Bringing them Chick-fil-A so I can eat Chick-fil-A without my wife sending the Chick-fil-A bag in the trash.
You remind me of the grown-up scene, like very Kevin James talking about hiding candy bars from his wife, and I'm like, dude, we're at that age now. It's so funny.
Oh yeah,
it's literally like the stuff you never used to get now as you grow and.
What's great about it is, after our meetings on Wednesday, there's a couple of the other partners, and we're talking about Taco Bell. And this guy told me, he said, my wife is really critical about Taco Bell. She doesn't want me to bring that home. And he said that the garbage can was already out because the next day's trash was coming up. So he put the evidence in his trash can.
Oh my God.
and he's thinking he's clean. Well, apparently she took the dog for a walk, picked up the poop and put it in the garbage can. She's like, there's Taco Bell in there. And he says to her, man, we really got to say something to our neighbors. Why would they put their Taco Bell garbage in my bin? So, I don't advocate for cheating on your spouse, but I confess I have Taco Bell occasionally. I have fast food occasionally. Yeah. I pay for it.
If that's the worst thing you're doing, you're doing okay.
Yeah, but I'm also like you, bro. I can't live in guilt. So
yeah, you tell her.
Yeah,
of course you do.
And the only reason she's critical about it, well, a couple of she wants me eating healthy because she wants to be around for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And second thing is when she makes her food, typically we have 2 or 3 days for leftovers.
Yeah.
So with her meal prep company, the concept is fresh. So it's called Fresh Meals by Chef Leah. And it's about 48-hour shelf life that all of these meals have. And she's like, I'm already going to, Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and her whole paychecks or whatever you want to call it. So she's spending all this money on this high quality food. And here I am going to get Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So you don't want to piss off a Latino man.
No, dude.
And the other thing, her main ingredient in her food, it's cooked with love.
Oh god.
So
Love that.
so I gotta respect that, and you
I
know,
thought you were gonna say some I was literally thinking not that at all. Yeah, you got me.
yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
No,
No,
no baking powder.
there you go. Yeah. Oh no, I wasn't even thinking that either, dude. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
she's Colombian.
Yeah.
Put it together.
Oh man. Well, dude, I honestly, I had like some stuff I was gonna ask you, and we kind of touched on it naturally, man.
Yeah.
This was a really good conversation.
Oh,
Anything else?
we're recording.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Oh.
Oh shit, forgot to hit play.
Well,
uh,
the other thing I wanted to mention is, um, you know, all of the things that I'm doing, with that massage therapy, you know, I look forward to that the most because it is that mind body,
mm, mhm,
and you're so relaxed, and it's the best way to decompress.
yeah,
You know, if you have an injury, she's able to help you recover quicker, so you can do those exercises again. So you know, getting a bigger Popeye arm, and then you got take my good hand
yeah,
arm, right?
yeah. Dude, I'm
Uh,
definitely gonna get her info from you
yeah, well,
because I need to.
there's
Yeah.
one here locally.
Okay.
Her name is Lynn,
Yeah.
and
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, Lynn
Yeah.
Haven. I'll get you her info. I'm
Okay.
telling you, there is nobody better. I mean, I'm here and I'm in Colorado. First thing I did when I knew I was coming out here, I sent her a text. I said, "Can you work me in?
Yeah.
Can you do a weekend?" And
Yeah.
she did. And she's the type that she's a perfectionist in a way where if she knows you're in pain, she's gonna stay longer, and she's gonna work on you, and she's gonna make sure you feel right, and whatever you came in with, it's feeling better before she lets you leave.
Awesome.
So it's not that she's you know her talent is immense. She really understands how to find those trigger points, that root cause of where the injury starts. It's her compassion, it's her kindness, it's the way that she lives her life. She brings into her profession, and they are therapists, and in a couple of ways, right? So it's a safe place to kind of be vulnerable, and also at the same time get your body treated.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
anybody in the Denver area, you gotta check out Lynn Hagen. She's dynamite.
Love it, man. Love
Yeah,
it. You can tell it's like helping you out big time.
yeah.
So that's
And
great.
got to the golf course today after a massage and
Dude, you've golfed every
cryo.
day since you've been here, right?
Yeah, well, my first day was,
Oh, it was for work.
yeah.
Yep.
You know,
That's right.
I had worked both days that I was here. I didn't swing the club on Friday, but I did get hit by a golf ball
Yeah.
on Thursday, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You showed me that. Is it getting worse?
It's just a different color bruise
Okay.
now.
Oh man. Well, dude, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
flying out.
Only to do
Only to do the
this
podcast,
yeah.
obviously for our draft, but like, thank you so much for taking the time to do this because, yeah, man,
Well,
I've been lucky enough to meet you through golf, and then we've grown to be friends, and you've been like a mentor and stuff like that to me, like through a lot of stuff. So
my
appreciate you coming
brother,
on, man.
my brother,
Oh
this
yeah,
is fun.
right on,
Yeah.
dude.